And I'm just excited to see how this mid lane will evolve, right? Because
Ich finde die LEC-Truppe, to be honest, die LEC-Truppe war sehr sick, oder nicht?
The one at the end of the last game from
Da will ich echt nicht sagen diesmal.
behind it, you know, felt like there was a little bit of frustration getting released there. And it's going to make it that much more intense when both these players really want to win.
All right, looking at bans, things are a little bit different, but also still kind of the same. The Pantheon and Varus both remain banned out, but on the C9 side, they're first banning Anivia next to Illusion.
Yeah, as we said, now you have to choose, you know, because there's Rise Talia. So you can just do that sort of option on this side. And it looks like they're going to try for the 2-for-1. We'll see if the third ban comes through as a different counter pick.
Anivia ban und LeBlanc ban. Okay, Rise first pick.
And so they're saying, if you leave Ziggs up,
Rise first pick, aber du gibst theoretisch eine Cassio.
Ari is already gone as well.
Ain't no way they're going to leave Ziggs up, though.
Well, yeah, with the LeBlanc ban, you have to ban it. I think it is kind of a nice little back and forth there.
This also does mean that the Talia, is definitely still open. C9 have first pick. They can lock that for APA if that's the play and get him on one of those champions that we know he can perform on, that we've seen him do it time and time again.
A lot of these AD junglers are up as pairings too. You could always go Talia Vi. Obviously, if you lock Talia, Vi could be taken away, but then you still have things like Jarvan or Wukong.
Henry, danke für die 23, Bro. What the fuck?
So I do expect
Entschuldigung, ich hab's gerade erst gesehen. Vielen lieben Dank, Mann.
It's one of APA's best champs.
Ganz viel Liebe, ehrlich. Dankeschön.
So I think, you know, regardless of how you feel the matchup goes,
Ernsthaft, ganz viel Liebe.
is going to be very comfortable on the Talia.
And then should
Interesting, dass die Talia über Rise gehen. Habe ich überhaupt nicht gesehen. Also habe ich persönlich gar nicht gesehen. Also sie müssen ja irgendwas in der Kombination offen haben, right? Die können auch Aurora gehen als Antwort. Ja, Aurora ist offen. Double ADC Maoka ist eine Möglichkeit. Ist theoretisch eine Möglichkeit, ja.
Here, as you said, there's some pretty good options.
Yeah.
And bot lane priority. Okay, Ashe Seraphine possibilities early on. I love this lane right now, so definitely would not be mad if they slam an Ashe Seraphine.
Boah, ich sage C9
Yeah, I feel like you
ist das Type of Team, das Ding spielen würde.
Unless they're really not worried about it, but that is kind of that traditional combo here.
Ich sag C9 ist ein sehr Yumi-Team.
Jarvan is kind of less consistent than the Vi as far as that Vi Talia combo. So I would have expected that, but they're going to go with Seraphine instead. So they are clearly not.
C9 ist definitiv ein Seraphine, ein Yumi-Team.
Vi has not been that effective, to be honest, when it has been coming out in the LCS.
Talia Panther, Talia Jungle Flex, maybe Panther ist Band. Ich glaube, die spielen sehr Yumi.
One another with Ashe, setting up Seraphine to get her roots, to get her lockdown. It can be very oppressive.
Yeah, it is oppressive for your jungler as well, and that's one of the reasons you're not as worried about it, because you're not only are you a strong lane, your bot lane can get pushed in most lanes, but you also hawk shot to keep track of the Vi. And so you're constantly spotting Blabber, and you give Inspired that extra information. Inspired always picks and grabs a couple camps here and there and tries to work his way into a lead that way. Now for the bottom lane, do you throw Vulcan on the engage champ and go to kill the Seraphine? Because that can be the angle. When you see Ashe Seraphines, teams could be like, you know what, we're not taking any more of this garbage, and they're going to try and go for kill lane themselves.
Let's see what they're going to go for here. Are they going to go with the standard Rise? No, instead it's going to be the Aurora. So a more aggressive option. Of course, this could be flexed up towards top lane too. I'm here for the vibes too. The vibes have been good today. The vibes have been
fantastic so far. Crowd's good, games are good, series has been good. We're having a good time.
I do think I'm expecting the Blitzcrank ban. That is kind of that traditional counter to some of these enchanters, specifically the Seraphine.
Those are the kill lanes.
It is high risk to be willing to play that.
Wie gesagt, im Vergleich zur LEC nehmen sich nicht viel. Top-Teams nehmen sich nicht viel, denke ich. Also schon bei LEC Season MVP, weiß ich nicht. Finale MVP hat Caps bekommen.
Are you worried about the Blitz or not? Because Blitz is high risk, high reward. It can either look amazing or completely useless.
It's interesting because, you know, the Bard ultimate really flexible too. It could have been used on their side as well, but let's see. I'm just assuming the Aurora is going to go into wherever, you know, top lane here for the Renekton, because that's a really good matchup for the Aurora. And so I'm assuming they're still looking at the
Full Topside auf 3. Finde ich okay, aber erneut, ich glaube, das ist sehr Yumi, oder nicht? No joke.
Worried about it? I guess you would be running a lot of Merc Tread value then, because Ashe stun, you know, Seraphine, so much Merc Tread value into double AP solo lanes. It is right now that value is already high, so maybe they're not too worried about it.
Well, since C9 was able to secure their Vi combo with the Talia in the first half of the draft, and Lions still don't have a jungler, C9 are looking at that Wukong. You mentioned it earlier, Azale, if the Vi did get stolen away, you would still have some powerful AD options like the Wukong and the Jarvan available to pair with the Talia afterwards. We'll see if the Jarvan ends up being the second one. No, instead, they're going to ban out that Yone that was hovered a little bit earlier by Lion.
I do wonder if C9 would go towards a Lucian lane, you know, go for some laning power here, try to...
Well, they banned all. They banned out.
Lucian? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Of course, yeah. It was banned out early in the first phase. So I'm trying to think what Sven would actually be playing towards here then.
Zeri-Yuumi.
Most of his picks are already gone. The only thing
Zeri-Yuumi, I'm sure wird vor allem jetzt mit Trundle, die brauchen was Mobiles. Es ist Zeri-Yuumi, by the way. Ich bin mir sicher, es ist Zeri-Yuumi.
But Jhin to me has just been so weak, and is especially weak into enchanters who can absorb a lot of that damage and kind of reduce the kill threat there with the curtain call. Obviously gets more and more damage because it has that execute the lower you get, and shields kind of negate so much of that.
Man, the healing and shielding on this Lion squad is crazy. Getting Trundle on the front line as well with pillars.
Mel AD Carry.
Create some more terrain for the battle.
Thomas hinein, bist du seit dem LCK-Finale live? Ja.
They're gonna go mage buy here. This is really this is
okay.
Wow.
Solo queue is people are playing a lot of Mel bot in solo queue and Mel plus enchanters.
Wow.
Asol plus enchanters. Basically,
okay, cool.
Enchanter bot is
cool.
really abusive. The amount of poke you can land is very difficult to deal with for these AD carries. So you are playing heavily to dominate in that 2v2. And it's new season, you can't lane swap away from it.
And it's new Mel. So
Mel bottom pro play, I mean, es ist since when? Seit diesem Jahr.
Of your queue, where they made it harder to hit all of the parts of your queue, but they upped the damage of it. So if the enemy is slowed and it's easier to hit all of it, they're going to get you know, a lot of value there, a lot of damage. So that is going to be dangerous as far as the bottom lane goes. We've got a lot of weapons down there. I definitely foresee some roams, some intervention as well. And we rounded out with a hen top for Dokla over here. Again, when you
ich habe hier so ein bisschen meine Sorgen mit dem konstanten Damage später von C9, obwohl ich finde, dass Mel ist, also ich finde Mel ist insanely broken. Ich finde Mel ist insanely broken persönlich, aber ja, mal sehen. Da kommt eine Freundschaft zu ewig, ja.
And Lion have great setup for the engage. Throw down a Trundle Pillar, it becomes very hard to actually dodge out from the Crystal Arrow, from the Encore, from the Aurora follow-up there. A lot of tools, but of course you have to remember, Mel can, you know, reflect an arrow. You know, you can reflect some of these abilities back. So we'll see how it is going to work out. Don't see a lot of mages in pro these days, but it's something you see a ton of in solo queue. So I'm excited to see how Sven and Vulcan can pilot this 2v2.
Yeah, see how well they can chain their CC as well. There's huge CC setups from both sides, so that's why I expect some roams, you know, some jungler attention, maybe some mid laners down there even. Because if one of those squishy champs gets hit with some CC, they will chain it.
All right,
also einfach Blabber dieses Jahr spielt ein gutes Jahr bisher. Spielt bisher ein gutes Jahr. I Will Dominate. I Will Dominate hat gezaubert.
Aligned here in the early game. Game number 2 had a lot of mistakes with the C9 decision making. As now Saint walks a little bit close to Sven and APA there. Does take a chunk of damage.
Also ich glaube.
Tough stuff.
Yep, and Blabber looking to reclaim his
also okay, konstanter AD Damage später wird auf jeden Fall ein Problem.
Pretty much unanimously the best jungler in the LCS.
Ja, wird auf jeden Fall ein Problem. Ich glaube nur.
Over the years, some more junglers came in and started to either compete with him or in some cases eclipse him.
Best Jungler kann blaue Reclaim the Throne auf gar keinen Fall. Ich glaube.
As that unanimous top of the table.
Oh, schöner Invade außerdem. Sehr schöner Invade.
Blabber really wants to reclaim that #1 spot, but
sehr
to
schön.
do it, you gotta get through Inspired.
And that's difficult, especially when Inspired picks Trundle into your Vi and goes into your invade.
Ja, ist gut gemacht, ne? Also dieses Matchsplitten und da rein, was gesagt macht, dass I Will Dominate so gut dafür ist, ja.
And he's starting this one out with abusing that Trundle power, walking into him and splitting the map.
Guter Level 1 Play, sehr guter Level 1 Play.
Here in the jungle, we've got Kangas standing by for an interview with Rainover.
Oh, it's Rainover, okay.
All right, Rainover, very late pick Mel there. What was your message to the team after seeing this pivot in the bot lane?
I mean, honestly, the Mel pick is not as familiar. I think we've faced once in Scrim, and then we did like kind of struggled in lane. So we'll see. But I think Ice Surfing should be still fine. And just about the game, like they're playing like Vi, Talia, so their playmaking is very strong. But our engage is kind of low, but our team fight is very strong. So we should just keep being able to keep fighting around the objective as much as possible.
All right, keep focused on the objectives. Now, you've had a couple series in a row now, the lower gauntlet run here in the lower bracket. Do you see it as a buff that you got to play 2 series ahead of this this big Sunday's final?
Yeah, I mean, I think lower bracket actually. I mean, I think I've won most of the, like when I won the split, I think most of the time it was just lower bracket run. I think the good part about it is you just get more experience, you just get your momentum going on, like flow.
Bei dem besseren Draft, beide gut.
You just play more game, you get, you get used to the stage match, your ring condition with the comp you're playing is getting more clear and clear, you know, you problem solve. So I think it's pretty good, yeah.
Any more ranged top laners for Dokla, huh?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, thank you so much. Back to the
Das war sehr gut von Inspired. Schaut, wie Blau ihm nachläuft.
Looks like Blabber kind of made the wrong read here. He was assuming
Was?
that Inspired would have gone down towards his bot.
Was machst du?
And now it's a red buff on Inspired and Blabber.
Er ist tot.
He might just get chased down.
Yeah, Inspired is after him, and you do not beat Trundle in a duel like this. The Vault Breaker is interrupted, and this one's going to be donated over to Saints Aurora so that he gets on top of it. Disaster in the early game for Black.
Nee.
And again, Inspired does this to so many junglers where he tries to remove their options and wait a second, the bottom side lane on the chase down here.
There's a lot of damage on
Nee, ich fange jetzt nicht an.
100 HP left, so he will be able to get away more now.
Aber dieser Bastard fickt mir wieder ein Finale, ich weiß es ganz genau. Er fickt mich wieder und wieder macht das in dem Finale, ich weiß es ganz genau. Es ist immer dieselbe Scheiße. Es ist immer dieselbe Scheiße.
It's just so brutal for Blabber. That's back-to-back games. It happened in the Nocturne game as well. You know,
Der Bastard, wirklich dieser Bastard. Immer dasselbe, immer dasselbe. Hundesohn.
I have to assume Blabber's read was he was going to go red to red and defend the bot side. So he's saying, okay, you're going to expect me to go to red, so you're going to go to red, so I'm going to go to your blue and do those camps instead. But unfortunately for him, that's not where Inspired went, and he ends up face-checking.
So fucking disgusting.
Blood, not to Inspired, but to Saint, which is even...
Kann man so ein Mensch sein? Ich verstehe das nicht.
That's a brutal start for Blabber, back-to-back.
Especially after Saint had such a killer game on Ahri last game. We heard Rainover talking about momentum, talking about getting in your flow, and I feel like Saint is...
Also ich für Lion wegen Inspired, weil ich für Sven bin.
I just went back and when Blabber crossed over mid,
Bin mit Sven befreundet und bin Fan von Inspired.
There is a
Da geht halt Freundschaft vor.
Where the minion moving up does see vision of him, and there are 2 blue pings from LYON. So they also see him on the cross as well. And we have seen a lot of these games with the early jungle going one way, just snowballing out of control in the current season, in the current meta.
Marco, danke für den dritten.
And especially with a Trundle here in the hands of Inspired, looks quite nice. I will say as well, though, I want to touch on the bottom lane as well after your point, Flowers.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, you're talking about the jungle domination determining the entire outcome of the game. That's what Blabber did to Griffin all the time in their FlyQuest games. He was the one on the giving end of the jungle punishment, and now the receiving end is not nearly as much fun, Mr. Kobe.
It's not fun at all. No. The other thing I was going to say for the bottom lane is the Mel reflects, you know, there's a lot of talk about the lane, but for later on, the...
Für was Blabber gemacht wird? Nein. Also, doch. Wie sie auch im Broadcast gesagt haben. Also er dachte wahrscheinlich, dass er Red into Red macht. Und deswegen geht er dann Topside invaden, aber es ergibt da gar keinen Sinn. Es ergibt ja keinen Sinn, seinen Q zu benutzen, dieser Bastard. Wirklich. Sven ist gut, ja. Jesus Christ, er ist tot.
Comes right on back, and Saint finds a solo kill on APA for the 2nd game in a row.
Had the experience advantage, you know, because of that kill that he got, he had the blue buff, he gets the XP advantage, hits level 6, immediately goes for it and kills off APA. And this is feeling suspiciously like the last game, mid and jungle out to a roaring start here for LYON. They're going to be able to grab the dragon as well. And such confident movement here, you know, from their bot lane as well. But, I mean, this is APA trying to interrupt the recall. Saint just goes in, and the flash was on nothing. I mean, he didn't actually avoid anything at all. The weirding hit, the 2-volt hex hit.
GG, no flash.
GG and no flash. Gets the guy. I mean, yeah, he's level 6. Good burst damage here from Saint. And as you say, no flash.
That is tough, man. Flashing away when the twofold Hex has already tagged you. You're going to take the return damage. You're avoiding absolutely nothing. And now that Summoner spell is down. Remember, this is Talia. She doesn't have mobility in the kit except for the long-range Weaver's Wall, which you're not going to use right there in combat to escape in the moment. So he's really vulnerable now.
I mean, it just seems like panic moments, honestly, in back-to-back games here from APA. You know, not mistakes that you would necessarily expect him to
Boah, ich
make.
bin so sauer schon wieder.
Twofold Hex.
Ich bin so sauer wieder, Mann. Dieser verhurte Bastard mit seinem Invader.
Can't avoid the pull.
Oh.
You know, flashing after you've been hit before the weirding has been used is just a big mistake, and that is back-to-back games. He gets solo killed. This one obviously was made harder because Blabber had already died to him, and that gave Saint the XP and the gold advantage, but still.
Wird hier noch ein Outscale? Ich glaube schon, ja.
At this level, if you want to be the
Ja, Finn ist balanced.
Mid jungle is having so much impact in this series. Remember, even back to game number 1, that was so
Ja, das Sven.
that Baron fight.
Boah, auch 97, glaube ich.
Into the favor of C9. It was Blabber winning the Smite fight. It was APA living with 5% HP and then still contributing afterwards. So C9 coming out on top there, but then LYON dominating in game 2, and now it's looking like LYON's off to a strong early start here again in the third one.
I will say though, quietly, look at the lead in top lane that Thanatos has opened up. He is up.
Ja, natürlich, der ist ein Alien.
Right now, 24 CS in that top lane in an isolated 1v1. He has been giving Dokla the business so far, so it's gonna have to be a big performance from Thanatos if he wants to win this game, right? You know, he has a big individual lead, and he's the only one that's doing well.
And guess what? It is hard for Renekton to win games versus Ashe Seraphine comps. So this death ball that LYON have constructed, you're probably, if you're the one super far ahead, you're probably going to Trundle ult on your head, and then the enemy team's got these Seraphine shields and all the stuff you have to get through, all the CC. So we'll see if Inspired uses it on Thanatos or uses it on Blabber, probably whoever dives deeper.
And you can see Dokla realizes, you know what, I'm losing, but who cares? The rest of the team is doing well, I just need to survive. So he's going early Bramble, he's saying, yeah, I'm not going to contest you.
Doch, aber der holt nachher gleich den Gürtel raus und schlägt den. In-game.
All of them are winning.
And he's playing for jungle right now because he went to go chase the Vi off those grubs. Uses his little time from top lane to make Blabber scurry away.
I think the movement has been really impressive from Berserker and Isles. When you play against these double mage bots, if they are hitting everything, it is so oppressive, and you start getting whittled down.
Nein, Skill auf top. Ich glaube, also Renekton gewinnt das Match, aber ja.
He's been positioning so aggressively. He's always standing in the face of Sven. He's dodging out these skill shots that are much more slow moving after the changes, after that rework to this champion. So Berserker playing confidently, and every time you miss one of those skill shots, Ashe can step forward and trade auto attacks with you, and that is going to be in her favor.
And they've just been pushing the lane here, priority on the bottom side. So thank you for the picture-in-picture. Blabber goes back afterwards after Dokla has to go answer the wave under his tower, and they will at least get their grubs finished.
Yes, but Kobe, you and I are both of the same belief system that the grubs are a consolation prize at best. So C9 will get that, but you do have to have some pressure on some turrets to get any value out of the extra damage to them.
I thought you were going to say something different, because you're both also of the opinion that the grubs are ugly.
Well,
they're
yes,
they're bad and ugly, and they should feel bad too. Yeah.
I'm on the side of they're ugly cute. They're funny looking.
No, they're just ugly.
Like a pug. They're the pugs of League of Legends.
No, pugs are fine. Pugs are good dogs. Grubs are ugly dogs.
The producers have let me know that the control room agrees with me.
No, okay,
so
that's fine.
Is the crowd fans of the grubs? Are the grubs cute?
Thank you, crowd.
Sounded like the grubs are cute flowers.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. You guys are just finding out you're the weirdos. How you like them apples?
But you know what?
Yeah. Calling the grubs ugly, that means you have an ugly personality.
Oh man, okay, all right, Mr. Turk immediately.
Well, now he's just being mean.
Well, hey.
I'm letting it go to my head. I take it back.
You know what that's really good at? That's good for killing ugly grubs. But
now
there's none
Flowers
left on
is
the
sad.
map.
Look what you did.
There's none left on the map. No grubs to kill, whether they're cute or ugly or whatever. But here in 20 seconds, we are going to have our second Drake of the game. There's a replay of them.
Is it? Just give them a little scratch on the head, you know?
Got like big purple pimples on their back and like the spike. I don't know. Their teeth are sideways.
We got a little hawk shot.
Like I said, the pugs of the rift.
Berserker was in that replay. There you go. Get the little hawk shot in there. Keep the vision. Regardless, Inspired bottom side. Got the crab on bottom side.
Drake weg.
Dragon immediately started up. And let's see if they can transition over. I mean, your mid lane is huge here with Saint once again pushing the wave and slooping into this line brush on the Aurora. But with the Thanatos teleport, they say, okay, you're teleporting Thanatos down here. I guess you want the dragon. Fair enough. You can have it.
Yep, there's the... Hey, at least they're getting some leverage out of this Renekton.
Good, honestly.
Winning his lane, right? Even though he will have more difficulty later on in the game, fighting into the Ashe Seraphine, dealing with the Trundle, stat debuffing like we were talking
ist nicht
about.
schlecht, aber Renekton ist auch winning in
flex
zu
those
sein.
alligator muscles a little right now, as Sven has to flash away from the enchanted crystal arrow.
He did not have his reflect up and available, so had to flash there. Used it on an earlier little trade with Isles. Also worth noting, not only did Thanatos TP down, but because he was winning that lane so hard, he was able to push out the wave, clear out the next one, TP down. He didn't really lose anything. Often on these plays, it can be so expensive these days because the crystalline growth stacks up that sometimes you TP down for a dragon, you lose multiple points. It doesn't feel worth it at all. In this case, he basically
Ja, ich kann C9 Damage auch noch nicht so ganz einschätzen, bin ich ehrlich. Ich weiß, Mel macht sehr viel Damage, aber es ist halt kein AD-Carry. Aber ich kann es jetzt nicht wirklich einschätzen.
35 is the base cooldown at rank 1. It's really, really tough. If you can end up, 26 at 25.93. That was I don't know if you guessed that or if you had looked at it beforehand, but I'm going to assume that you guessed it because that's a really, really good guess.
Thank you, Flowers.
He's just going to nod.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you got it figured out. As it looks like Thanatos has LYON figured out here. Tries to turn the burst back around.
Let's try.
Saint, but no, they brought Inspired and Saint together. Although the play almost went sideways, LYON still gets the man.
Good try there from Thanatos. You know, the flash forward, the stun onto Saint. When he went between worlds there, threw down the ulti, it didn't quite clip Thanatos, so it didn't have that damage. He had to kind of commit forward to get that kill.
Bin so sauer.
Almost turned around on him, but again, this is the knock-on effects of that early laning going the way of Saint, because traditionally you think of Taliyah as the one that's going to be getting out of that mid lane, you know, using the Weaver's Wall to assist these side lanes. But now the one advantage for C9 has been effectively cut in half, because Dokla was the one who got a kill up there.
Yeah, that's tough for C9 as this early game continues to be rough water. The Dragons are at least tied thanks to Thanatos' presence at the previous one, so it's not like LYON are just stacking up a ton of pressure around an early Drake Soul. Remember that is what we heard Rainover say in Kangas's interview. Their team, they're kind of afraid of the playmaking of C9, but they have really strong team fights and they want to fight around objectives. So C9 at least getting that early Drake to shut some of that down as Saint goes forward again, just looking for this powerful push against APA.
But I mean, if you told me that you were going to pick Vi and you hadn't pressed R by 14 minutes, I would tell you to not play Vi. So, you know, that is
character.
Exactly.
Reconsider your life choices.
Exactly. It's like the game has just gone so bad for them so early that Vi has been tracked everywhere. Blabber and APA went into recovery mode very quickly, so they haven't been able to utilize the whole point of picking these two champions, which is this combo. Guaranteed point and click CC into the seismic shove, trying to 100 to 0 people.
Yeah, I mean, if you also told me you're going to pick Taliyah and you're going to get solo killed at level 6 and then you're going to flash and then...
Hey, it was level 5.
I would also tell you don't do that.
It was Saints level 6.
Yeah,
with the problem.
Exactly.
So we still, we have not seen Weaver's Walls. We have not seen Vi combos. We have not seen C9 find any of this playmaking that they're supposed to be drafting for. As Blabber is down in the Dragon Pit, but there's no dragons.
And it is crazy for people who have been following the whole lock-in tournament as Big Doke's up here.
Yeah, Grim Deliverance looking to set this up. Dokla wants to go all the way underneath. The turret, he flashes in. He's got the determination stacked all the way up, so he'll resurrect afterwards. And Big Dokes gets the big solo kill.
Yeah, he's putting that money to work. Trinity Force done. Yes, time to go all in.
I mean, Thanatos had this massive early lead, goes for the quick clips, but then he gets 3-man dove. That gold goes to Dokla. Dokla gets to complete his much more powerful, much more expensive Triforce. And now the shoe is on the other foot. Everywhere they are losing. LYON starting to really run away with this one. C9 need to make some plays. They got to do something because they are just bleeding out across the map.
I think that shoe is being applied to Thanatos' butt right about now. He has had enough of this early lane bullying, and Dokla now has an individual 259 gold bounty on his head. LYON is up 2,000 gold as a team. There's a lot of vision control around this bottom side river, though, for C9. They're looking at the next Drake. It's spawning in under 45 seconds. Here's Dokla in Swiss and playoffs. We've been talking about Saint leveling up as an individual.
Ich bin so sauer, wenn die wieder ins Finale verlieren. Ich bin so sauer. Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott, ich bin so sauer.
That even though they haven't come out now,
Ich bin so sauer,
things
Hilfe.
that are in the back of your mind, right? You have to consider that in the draft. It makes it more difficult. My only question is, why was he looking so happy on the left there when he was down 700 gold?
Because he knew he was about to have a glow up.
Oh, it's the character building.
Yeah, he was looking forward to the future.
Love me.
Oh, ich bin so sauer. Oh mein Gott.
Weak side tanks and with a smile on their face. Honestly, though, the glow up from LYON as a team. Here we go.
Hold on, though. APA and Blabber finally finding their
Guter
chance
Play.
to make a play, and the shutdown
Gott sei Dank.
is exactly what the doctor ordered for Cloud9.
There's your Vi and Talia that you ordered in Champion Select. Vi ult used and Aurora killed. Perfect timing there for Cloud9. They get in, they've got the vision set up, they have the people in the place ahead of the objective, and they make it count.
How Dokla here. Shout out to the
Boah, nee.
The vlogs at Worlds.
Ich bin so kurz vorm Explodieren.
No, that was some of my,
Ein
that was
bisschen
some of my
für
favorite
C9.
stuff from Worlds this past year. But now LYON still with a 1,500
Wie
gold lead.
kam der auf die Idee,
Invading the enemy jungle. They've got
als zwei eine Challenge zu
lane
erwähnen?
duo, so much lockdown, so much pressure. Dokla is going to take out the tier 1 turret.
Denkt einfach mal,
At the same
ihr
time,
seid eine Vi,
Thanatos 0
Level 3 ohne Wrap-Off und ihr invadet einfach einen Channel, bei dem ihr wisst, der hat einen Wrap-Off. Ey, das ist so unfassbar mental ill.
Even though you... even
Let
the...
us guess.
Das ist so krank ill.
What's my point gonna be?
Wow.
He's calling your bluff, buddy.
Dokla's
Wow,
skill
wow,
is
wow,
really
wow, wow.
strong.
Nope.
Boah, bin ich schlecht gelaunt.
You're gonna be playing
Und dabei war das doch eigentlich so ein guter Tag heute.
with the Seraphine healing and shielding. We talked about buffing up bruisers against a Spirit Vision's second item Trundle. The healing is insane on this front line. So the Death Ball comp is going to form a ball of death very soon. And like, how are you ever going to kill Inspired now? The healing is going to be out of control on this champion. So it's one of those situations where, like, do we even get heal cutting, or do we, like, can we burst anybody? Do we try and play side lane?
War aber nicht der bessere Jana von beiden
With
Ruhe.
our, you know,
Bitte.
Talia and our Vi, maybe we, like, pick people off instead.
Yeah. It's kind of a similar situation to last game where you end up in this spot where, okay, you have to dive on Berserker and kill him, but then you realize Inspired is who you're fighting through, Dokla is who you're fighting through, they have such high consistent DPS. If you're trying to walk past...
Ich kann einfach nicht mehr.
It is not a winning proposition.
Wieder fickt er mich.
And one of our chat messages that popped up.
Wieder. Ich werde ihm niemals verzeihen für die ganzen Finals. Der hat letztes Jahr 2 Finals solo verloren und die jetzt wieder. Den werde ich niemals verzeihen.
Yozu and Cupid were a challenger duo who were constantly playing double mage bot, and now we'll see if
tot, oder nicht?
Vulcan can survive the aggro from LYON here in the mid lane. APA rides in.
Jesus.
Ben gets the
Fucking Christ, dieser Champion.
Berserker, the power
Dieser Mel-Champion, Hilfe, ey.
stacks for that ultimate
Hilfe.
lane kill.
Golden Eclipse,
Dieser Mel-Champion, ich sag's euch.
knock him down.
Mit Mel, mit Mandate, wow. Oh, der ist auch noch tot.
With a nice seismic shove too.
Jesus fucking Christ, Mel ist so OP.
To try to get away, Blabber thought about maybe wanting to finish that off, but he would not have had enough damage.
Turns out C9 are the true ball of death all along. They group up back-to-back plays for them. It's all about preparation for these plays and being able to pick off another one, get more resources. Here's a running away Thanatos. Those should be fine. But these are big plays for Cloud9 in their efforts to get back into this game and actually
Tun's
get
noch besser.
themselves, you know, some fighting capabilities. So, you know, the mage on bottom lane here is going to be shredding magic resistance as well. Sven goes for the pickup with the Bloodletter's Curse, which is very effective for him and for APA and for Nami damage that's being added on top of all these things. You really do have to respect some of these mage bottom lanes. I believe the shout out that you mentioned there, Flowers, for Cupid and Yozu, or pretty famous as well for the Zoe and Lux combo, which is a truly frightening CC combo and crazy burst. I honestly do hope that we get there in Fearless at some point, but this one, here's another look at the extra damage from Sven.
I mean, this is
Ist Actualizer? Ja, das machen die aber.
every skill shot the entire game.
Das haben die irgendwie, der und Vega Vitua haben das getweetet, also Vega Vitua hat das getweetet, dass das irgendwie die neue Tech ist. Spellbook plus Actualizer.
So even after the disengage, he had the Golden Eclipse ready, is able to knock him down. And I mean, that's the frustration when you're playing against, whether it is Nami and Mel, or Lux and Zoe, or really any of them. You have to dodge everything, because if you get hit by one bubble, one root, everything else is going to be guaranteed right thereafter.
C9 fighting their way back into this game. They've got a 1 dragon advantage. They're only down 500 gold now as LYON use the Herald here.
Nein, die haben sie gegrieft.
Weaver's Wall summoned up to make it so the Herald charge is not successful.
Okay, nevermind.
C9 doing everything they can to beat this thing down, but meanwhile,
oh nein. 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 Nein, das ist so ein guter Nash.
No idea. Thanatos is
Es ist so ein guter Nash.
to make a play here in mid. C9 still unaware of the Baron. It's down to 1/3 HP. Now they're moving over.
Oh mein Gott, nice. Nice. Giga Pro. Giga Pro. Giga Pro. Giga Pro.
Blabber wants to try to steal it away. He flashes over the wall. But no, it's Dokla securing the Baron here for LYON. But Inspired is already down. And LYON's got to try to get everybody else out. Honestly, you lose your jungler, but you claim a Baron. I'm going to call that worth for LYON.
That was huge. Blabber didn't even get his smite off, I believe. So Blabber goes in, tries to land the smite combo. But the Zehen is the one who finishes it off, and LYON get away there. That was so risky. If they lose the Baron,
Dritter Drake für C9.
tragic for their game.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I mean, Sven, when he gets that feeling, gets that inkling, then he blue trinkets over by the Baron, then everybody presses the emergency buttons, Flowers. You've been in those games, everybody get in the pit now! And the smites are going off, and the Baron last hit goes over to the top laner, and it's craziness all over. But look at that Baron power play, you saw the gold lead. So here we're gonna get the, assuming we were gonna get the vision toggle, but they're working on the Baron the entire time. Nice, here we go. So here you're gonna see it gets whittled down, and then Sven's blue trinket, he's gonna say, they're acting a little suspicious.
Yep, no one answered the wave on bot lane tower. That is generally a giveaway. No one's answering those side waves. They spot it. And now watch when Blabber goes in. His smite is for 1400. I believe he smites at 1480. Tries to combo it here as he gets into the pit. Has the Q to get him.
Wir sind das nicht so gut.
I got a flash in.
Glaube ich.
And he's gonna
Ich
go
glaube, Moore ist besser als ihm.
down to 1480 was the last number I saw. 1489. There's the smite. Tried to combo it. He actually had Inspired in the R, though, so he couldn't actually land any of his own damage at the same time. So it was basically just a guess of when is Inspired going to press smite. Is he going to press it first or second? And unfortunately for Blabber, he gets a smite off, but Dokla's damage comes through and steals that away from what would have been the 80 remaining health.
So one of the consequences of that after the fact as well, C9 now on Soul Point on a Hex.
Soul Point ist big.
So if they can get the next Hex,
Gibt es eigentlich Matchups stärker? Health ist zu OP als Dead, weißt du?
LYON are going to try to do everything.
HP ist zu OP und der Sustain von, oder quasi das Teamfighting, das die ja Standard Sky gibt, ist sehr stark. Ja, ich liebe Dom auch.
I mean, Mel Poke is already so annoying. If you get Hextech Soul on top of that, you know, the E from, oh, is they're going to go for a potential engage?
Yeah, but that engage is immediately...
Problem ist, Seraphine gleich auf zweitem.
Nice bubble. The Solar Snare from Sven is also such a pain to try to work through as a melee champion, and LYON won't find anything.
Man, crazy stuff so far this series. What a banger.
Mal sehen, was sie gegen die Mel machen. Mel-Nami hier ist so schwierig.
As well after this Baron, again, negative on the gold for the Baron power play because of the kills that happened afterwards. But Cloud9 are on that 3 dragon, you know, dragon soul point of pressure at the moment, and it's 2.5 minutes, or 2 minutes and 50 seconds away from it, and they're already camping in brushes and looking to blow flashes because those flashes will be.
Ja, Nash Bane natürlich nicht existent. Sondern in der Midlane steht, das ist sehr gut für C9. Hören Sie mir für C9.
People always talk a lot about, you know, Renekton having a weak late game. Is Blabber?
Yeah, Blabber wants to try to get away with the blast cone. The enchanted crystal arrow won't find the mark, but Blabber's still down to 60% HP.
Okay.
Gets back away with a ball breaker. Is now Inspired's going to be your target.
Low.
For the rest of LYON here with a Weaver's
Low.
Wall. He's got to be careful. The Golden Eclipse could execute him if he gets too low. Berserker also exiting now next to Isles and Inspired. That was real scary there for Blabber.
It was very scary, and then almost was able to turn around that Inspired, but they couldn't lock him down and knock him down. But anyway, Thanatos, you're not even on Asterix right now, so already Renekton difficult to teamfight on late game.
Really Standard Sky, seit Release,
not
seit
even
im OP.
Asterix means he's very squishy at this point of the game, and is going to be difficult for him.
Nur Interview, wenn C9 gewinnt, und selbst dann muss Sven Hand nehmen.
Got the tier 1 turret in the mid lane. That will be their 3rd turret of the game. All 3 outers removed now from the LYON battlements. We have less than 2 minutes.
Was wahrscheinlich machen würde, aber ja.
That Dragon Soul spawns. LYON has got to be ready for this. They do not want that Hex Soul in the hands of Cloud9. Not with the game being this close. This is so similar to game number 1, where remember we had a gold lead that didn't go past 1,000 either way until about 30 minutes.
Ja, jetzt bald fahre ich nicht nochmal an. 2 Tage am Stück die Kleinen, also. Kein Bock, I guess.
Vulcan obviously has had the McHales for a bit, but
Katakuri, danke für den Prime.
so much harder again. You're really dependent upon the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the Encore. You have the Mel Reflect to deal with.
Keins bei,
Cleanse to deal with now as well.
Aurora ist super OP in Lane. Super OP in Lane garantiert dir Early Push und gute Skirmishes.
You're trying to run straight at that Mel. You're trying to run through the Tidal Wave, through the Solar Snare, through all of the unraveled Earth and the rocks that are getting thrown at you. C9 does have a pretty good kite back.
They do have a good kite back.
Dom-Interview hatten wir als letztes, also ich würde gucken, dass ich pro Split nur einmal dieselbe, ich hatte auch ein Sven-Interview schon, aber nur einmal pro Split die Person. Muss sowieso noch ein bisschen expanden, wenn ich anfangen würde. Eine Minute auf Drake. Berserker sieht so useless aus, oder nicht? Diese sieht LYON nicht komplett useless aus. Check mal die Items ab. Die sind doch komplett useless, oder nicht?
Well, the clock is having a little bit of a problem right now. I don't know if it's 50 seconds or if it's 10 seconds. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow flies out and it connects onto Thanatos with the defense.
Schöner One-Shot.
Is already there. They're trying to hold the line.
Auf Thanatos.
Has already died. C9 falling back as
Scheiß Bix Eclipse.
And Berserker hits his target dead on.
Yeah, the snipe from downtown and the assist to the pillar from
Ich hab heute schon zu lange vergessen.
to keep him there and make
Für nächstes Bild können wir drüber reden.
C9 4v5. Can they pull it off? They're hoping for a steal. They're hoping to create some chaos here and get a soul out of it.
The only ultimates left up are Inspired Subjugate.
AP hat gemeint, alles gone.
C9, they back
Fuck
away.
my
They
life.
don't want anything else to do with this. It's a 4v5. They don't want to risk
Und das waren schon richtig.
For Thanatos to be recalling in. He's recalling in that side brush.
Vor allem ist das Seraphim, jetzt hat Seraphim gleich 2 Items.
I'm not sure if he already knew he was in there or if it was just him kind of walking up and sussing him out that he was in that brush, but he finds him, and that ends up costing C9 their chance at Soul for now. Of course, they are going to be able to get another crack at it later on.
What a crazy game, man. 49.9 to 50.0, 1,000 gold. This one could not really be much closer. As we'll take another look at how Thanatos got caught here.
He got spotted walking in. He tried to like loop around, but he was still in vision, I'm pretty sure. I would want to see the vision from the very start.
Too.
Yeah, so that to me was a mistake from him. That's just a lazy recall. He wanted to base TP back with hysterics, but gets caught, and that is a punishing lazy recall. And now LYON are on the Baron here. They're going to try to force.
Okay, Thanatos has already used his empowered teleport. He's got the extra shield. Baron still at about 11,000 HP, so not super low. LYON can't just try to brute force this here just yet. Dokla loses half health, but he eats all of the super tasty honey fruits, gets himself back away as C9 continue looking to try to find a pick as LYON make their retreat. They're not going to get anyone. They will at least steal away the enemy blue. Blabber has access to that one. This Vi still only level 15, still about a full level behind Inspired, catches up slightly thanks to the blue buff EXP as C9 will retake control over the top side river, but they have not cleared out all of the vision that LYON left behind. Vulcan is trying to sweep away some of that, but both of those wards still standing for now. Thanatos will sweep away the top one, but there is still this one little pocket of vision right here at the bottom side of this upper river.
And look at that damage from Sven. All the poking from this Mel has been pretty heavy. Solo laners definitely still at the top though, and we'll see about that fight over the approach to Baron.
LYON hat 2 Drakes, doch.
Doing a good job defending these wards, defending that vision.
Ist eine Anzeige bei Guess, ja.
You can see the Sterix gauge
is
now completed for the Renekton as well. That's the item that we were calling out. He really needs this if he wants to be able to survive in team fight.
Void's noch bei APA.
He's got it. Death's Dance also up for Dokla, gives a lot more survivability and drain tanking to the Zehen, and you can see he's working on the Maw of Malmortius next.
And you can see Thanatos still on those brown bags, doesn't have the upgraded boots, so didn't have Merc Shreds or anything like that to deal with all of the CC that was landing on him. And was obviously pretty heavily punished for that. Sven just trying to step forward and flex on him. Look at Dokla.
Yeah, Dokla
Saint.
from the flank, but meanwhile
Saint gecatcht, der ist tot. Sven kann ulten, der ist tot. Saint ist tot. Nice. Sehr gut. Slow. Spielt mit Sven. Spielt mit Sven.
Is also incredibly low. Everybody on LYON still with plenty of HP, but they've lost their mid laner. Blabber's still looking for an angle, but Blabber gets tagged by Berserker. The Vi is just dead, but a beautiful side.
Hallo? Ihr sollt langsam spielen, ihr Dogs. Ihr sollt langsam spielen, Dogs. Lasst doch Sven carryen.
Sven still firing back with the radiant volleys. He rebuttals, he gets the root onto Isles, but the solar snare just doesn't have the range to... And LYON back away, C9, both sides losing 2.
I mean, these fights are crazy, but Blabber was playing the early stages so well in this.
Was macht meine beide am Ende?
Later on, you can see Dokla was on the flank here on the side. APA throws down the Weaver's wall. Sage is on the retreat, and Blabber is able to chase after him and finally get this finish.
Was macht meine Vi jetzt?
Re-engages are going back and forth. Blabber goes in a little bit too far as he queues over the wall. He has no flash, so when he
Sven 20, 14, 15.
You've got no flash. You've stepped too far forward. He gets tagged by the slow. The encore comes through. The root and stun is there.
Hey.
And then it's just madness.
Yeah, the seismic shot from APA then answers the kill onto Berserker. Then they chase down with the bruisers falling afterwards. And the crowd is loving it. It is just back and forth between these two juggernauts of teams in the LCS finals. And we're back into the mid lane. Flowers, we're back into the action.
And Saints right back between worlds. Sven's going to be the target, but he pops the rebuttal for safety, then has to flash away from the enchanted crystal arrow. Dokla was wrapping around to the right side flank and could have followed that up with some serious threat if Sven gets caught by that CC. Still such a close game. Dokla moving into the bot lane now, seeing if there's an angle here after Thanatos. Should be able to tag him with the dreaded return. There it is. The Renekton under some serious pressure as he continues his retreat.
And that lost flash is honestly off of a little...
Ja, der Zayn ist jetzt sehr OP.
Use the Mikhails early.
For fuck's sake.
Mikhails there, but it was just like a slow or something like that. So once the Mikhails is used, Sven can no longer tank that crystal arrow, so it means he loses the flash. That is going to be a big deal potentially for these subsequent dragon fights.
And they're going to teleport in. Phase checking into the darkness.
Weaver's wall. Not going to find a whole lot. LYON still trying to back away. Berserker gets tagged with a slow, but nothing more. Inspired clearing out some of the vision here in the banana brush. Very important when you're fighting around a dragon. All 5 alive on both sides. Saint still far away, back by the chicken pit on the LYON jungle. As Thanatos wants to step forward, dread return, going to grab him. Sven under pressure, inspired.
Sven Flash, oh mein Gott, Thanatos. Er ist tot. No, die gewinnen. Oh, Dokla hat wieder viel zu schnell gespielt. Der Typ hasst es, langsam zu spielen. Sven Ulti kommt gleich. Sven ist so OP. Hat immer noch Ulti ab. Oh mein Gott, Stage. Oh wow, hat er viel HP.
To get a little bit more drain tanking. Dokla still very healthy. C9 might have got the extra kill, but their health bars are blinking red.
LYON tried to flank around and put extra pressure onto Sven and try and punish this flashless Mel. It was even inspired flashing in to go.
Luba von Sven und Drake. Drake. Gib Soul.
So the Guardian Angel on Blabber, so they're going to start the dragon up.
And one of the critical things is that Inspired is the one who died on the LYON side. There's no chance to contest here with a smite, and that is Hex Tech Soul for C9, 34 minutes into the game.
These fights are just insane this late into the game. It's on a knife's edge.
Die müssen einfach nur langsam spielen, weil LYON hat keine Chance, auf diese Mel zu kommen.
It's Sven getting targeted, it's him retreating, but it was Berserker dying so early on, thanks to Thanatos.
Ich glaube, ich hasse dich.
Huge.
Die müssen einfach nur langsam spielen.
On the other side of the map, they burst down Inspired because of the overcommitment there into the attempted dive. Dokla can get back up with the passive, but as you know, nobody else does get chased down. They kite it out nicely. Isles as well, the Seraphine ult going over the top. He was trying to follow the play onto Sven, but it didn't hit anyone in that fight, and they need that to land.
Talked earlier about how it is so hard for the Renekton to find efficacy in these late game team fights. I'd say right there is about
Die Vi muss, also, die können nicht verlieren. Hut fertig, die können nicht verlieren. Die können nicht verlieren, wenn die langsam spielen. Nur langsam spielen.
And Sven completed his death cap, so he is super strong now with his soul and death cap.
Okay, here's the TP. Everybody from LYON is ready to challenge for this, but Blabber might just die.
Was macht? Alter.
C9 jungler as LYON nearly find the
Können wir für Sven peelen, bitte? Sven ist tot. Sven ist tot.
Saint tries to get away. Sven's already down, and Saint will follow. 4. They know that Blabber is low, but it's still a 4v4 on the Rift. Thanatos trying to escape. He's got the dominance for the extra health for now. C9 managed to clear their retreat.
All the ults are down except for Zehen, except for Dokla. He can have a big re-engage. They're wrapping back around. Vision is on Baron. There's a control ward in the back.
Nicht play it. No fucking way.
That's the biggest poke for C9 here. And they still have so much consistent DPS with Berserker.
Okay, Blabber's starting to
Ja, mit Nami muss so OP sein hier, oder nicht? Bitte. Reiß es zusammen.
Down to about half
You
right
fucking
now.
dogs.
Thanatos does not have the dominance ready to go. Dokla's going to be the
Good.
target here of APA with the threaded volley as the grim deliverance from Dokla lands in the middle of
Oh, wunderschöne Bubble.
the damage. Thanatos has already died on the other side of the
Oh, du fucking Beauty Vulcan.
Spiel.
Ey, du bist so ein Hurensohn. Du bist so ein Hurensohn. Bin doch langsam. Du fucking Dog. Einmal in deinem Leben. Wer hat dich gefickt? Ich versteh's nicht. Wer hat dich gefickt?
These fights being determined by the slimmest of margins. Both teams go after the enemy top laner there and barely being able to get the
Hurensohn bist du. Hurensohn.
Rundle gets so big of a heal off of a dying champion, and that means Inspired's back to full health here after the scrap, getting the Baron on top of it. Look how close this is.
So much of this. This is the later fight that we did have here. So Blabber's gonna
Erklär mir, warum der da reinqueued.
just chasing after Thanatos, who has
Bitte erklärt mir, warum der Typ da
so
reinqueued.
he's gonna try to just go in.
Bitte schaut euch an, alles gut, alles gut. Wunderschöne Bubble von Vulcan, wunderschöne Bubble. Und jetzt sagt mir bitte, was dieser Typ jetzt hier gleich macht.
And Cloud9 are saying, hey, burst down Dokla before he can stack up his passive here, and then they're chasing Inspired to finish him off, but look, so close, they can't get the kill, and then he gets the big heal, they chase them down. Berserker also, he hits hit with this bubble, and then barely can dodge out on the Nami wave as well, and they know
Was macht der da?
Baron is theirs after that scrap.
To me, so much of the fight, though, was decided before that. With the play from Saint over the wall, gets Blabber incredibly low in the Baron pit. Then Blabber tries to retreat out through that Tri-Brush, but Saint is there waiting for him, takes his GA away from him, and Saint got so much done in the early stages of that fight. It created chaos. Sven is trying to run away. Sven dies super early.
Seraphim 3 Items jetzt, ja.
So much of the threat from Cloud9 on this kite back comp that they're trying to play.
Yeah, in that fight, LYON playing their ranges really well. You know, Ash Arrow from Berserker, stunning up Blabber so they can poke damage, and then slowly moving in. What a tense series, what a tense game. And it is Dragon Soul on the side of Cloud9, but Baron on the side of LYON now after that latest victory.
We have
Gut,
all
fertig,
the big
ja.
ticket items, you know, that are already through or are now coming through. APA just completed his death cap. Remember, he has the actualizer as well. So watch out for that second activation of that rock throw. That big rock with the actualizer and the death cap does insane damage.
Hextol versus a 3,000 gold lead plus the Baron that you mentioned, Kobe, for the next 75 seconds. But critically, about a minute and a half from now, the Elder Dragon will spawn. And I can't help but feel like this game is going to come down to the battle for that objective. It is desynced from Baron. We're not going to get a trade of super buffs. This is going to be the whole game, it has to feel like.
And Berserker just got his GA. So that is going to be so much more difficult now for C9 as Inspired just walking in very confidently here.
Can't quite get it though.
Oh, that was close. APA though, he has the cleanse on his Talia with the Summoner's Spellbook. That's why he didn't feel pressured to need to use the flash. Even if the arrow hit him, he still would have been fine. Less than 60 seconds until the Elder. LYON still have the Baron, so they still control the tempo of the lanes. The map is still very dark for the Cloud9 side as they'll have to approach this bottom side river.
And critically, Flowers, the cooldown on that Ash Arrow is also less than 60 seconds, so that's why he just throws it out there. He's going to have it back up for another attempt. As we see the big dragon
40 Minuten Game reicht.
Rift shortly, and man,
Und die verlieren mit Soul. Ich kann einfach nicht mehr.
Cloud9 trying to deal with the mid lane pressure first and open up a way in.
And you can see that Inspired, he loves going towards these support items later on in the game. He has the Knife Thou, and it's actually linked onto Dokla here. That is kind of the Bash Bros up at the front. He knows that Dokla is so strong and is trying to help him drain tank.
Okay, Cloud9 trying to back away a little bit now as Dokla goes straight in for
APA ist tot. GG. GG.
Blabber's gonna die here second. The Guardian Angel will
GG.
protect him for long. Thanatos will die beside him as Inspired continues locking up the Cloud9 jungler. Sven's on the run and barely staying alive. Rebuttal keeps him going.
Fuck, er ist halt so lächerlich broken. Er ist so lächerlich broken, die Adimel.
Grim Deliverance will deliver LYON to the nexus of Cloud9.
ist der größte. Raba ist der größte Bastard. Das ist einfach so. Es wird sich nie ändern. Es wird sich nie ändern. Es ist mir egal, was für irgendjemand sind. Es ist der größte Bastard. Er schafft es immer wieder. Dieser Typ, er kann nicht langsam spielen. Das geht nicht in sein kleines Erbsengehirn rein. Es ist so absurd, wie schlecht er ist. Es ist so absurd, wie schlecht er ist. Weil dieser Draft ist fein. Draft ist playable. Das sind 2 gute Drafts, aber bitte. Bitte. Irgendjemand muss mir das jetzt erklären. Wie kann man nicht die Brain Capacity haben, um zu verstehen, dass man langsam spielen muss und für seine Mel peelen muss. Ich check das nicht. Es ist und bleibt der größte Bastard. Wirklich.